Almost 4 years ago to the day, my life was vastly different. And if I didn't make some very serious life changes, I might not even be alive.
I'm on the roof of the world, trekking around one of the deadliest mountains on the entire planet. This is the world-famous Annapurna circuit here in the Himalayas of Nepal. Over the next 20 days, we're gonna be trekking from tea hut to tea hut, staying in the backcountry when we can, camping out amongst the biggest mountains in the planet, and just trying to adapt to the altitude, as this will be the highest I've ever been. This is the Himalayas, this is the Annapurna circuit. We're in Nepal. Let's get into it. So I'm not alone on this trek. I'm accompanied by my buddy and YouTube filmmaker Harmen, as well as my guide Ashish. We didn't start the trip here. We actually woke up in Kathmandu yesterday morning, where we made the long and arduous Jeep trek down some of the most harrowing and hardcore roads I've ever experienced in my life, as we made our way up from Kathmandu here to the town of Chame, where we started our trek this morning. Funny enough, on that trip, we celebrated a YouTube milestone for myself as I hit 1 million subscribers, which was a real fun and kind of beautiful moment to experience with my new friends here in the Himalayas. It's a real amazing place to reflect on life and think about where I came from, and also where I plan to go in the future, which I hope to talk about over the course of the next couple weeks. The wonderful part about the Annapurna circuit is that we are walking through dozens of towns on our way around the beautiful Annapurna Massif. And the nice part is all these places have housing and restaurants. So we're at one of those towns now, having a nice bite to eat, hanging out with Harmen.
What up?
You can talk. We got about 3K left for the day, and then we'll be in the next town. Slow and steady wins the race as we acclimatize our way up into the higher reaches of the Annapurna circuit. All right, guys, we have a paid partner on today's program. Super grateful for paid partnerships. They allow these trips to be a reality, especially partners like today's, and that's BetterHelp. BetterHelp's mission is to make starting therapy easier. And that's something I can really get behind. There was a time in the not so distant past where I was really struggling and I felt really depressed and depleted, and I needed help. So it was through a video segment just like this one on another channel, I discovered BetterHelp and decided to sign up. Let me tell you, it's really easy to get going with therapy. You go to their app or you use their website, you fill out a quick questionnaire, and you can get started with a therapist within a couple of days. One of the things with BetterHelp is they make sure that all the therapists on the platform are well qualified. You can chat with your therapist through voice call, video call, or text. My personal favorite was the video call. I just felt like I can connect with my therapist way easier if I could see their face, and that was my preferred method. If you guys find you're not connecting with your therapist, it's really easy to swap out. It's free of charge, super simple, so you can make sure that your therapy sessions are with people that you find you connect with a little bit better. So if any of you guys feel like you're struggling out there and you feel like you can benefit from therapy, there's no easier way to start therapy than through BetterHelp. And if you use the link down below or the link here on screen, betterhelp.com/Budnik, you get 10% off your first month of therapy. And also, if you use that link, it lets BetterHelp know that this segment was a success, and it helps for more paid partnerships between us, which allows for more videos like this to be a reality, and it helps the channel out. So if any of you guys are considering therapy, use that link. Guys, thank you for watching. Thank you, BetterHelp, for being the paid partner of today's video. Let's get back to hiking the Himalayan mountains. So we made the trek from Chame this morning to Upper Pasang. I think it was 600 to 800 meters in elevation gain, about 12 kilometers. I'll show you guys everything on a map a little bit later. But for now, I'm just gonna take a few minutes. So in this town, we're at 3,300 meters in elevation. This isn't the highest I've been. I was actually on a trip in my early 20s, one of the first videos I ever posted on my YouTube channel. Back when I was in Japan, I climbed Mount Fuji. I remember that experience quite fondly, and it's fun to reflect on some of my earlier trips as I'm staring up at Annapurna too. And my video making didn't really start there. I developed my passion for creating videos back in high school during Comtech, communications technology, when I'd make some funny videos with friends for the morning announcements and just for grades. And that's when I decided that that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to make videos for the rest of my life. And shortly after I graduated high school, I think it was that summer, I went on my very first multi-week canoe trip, the Missinaibi River, and that's the very first video that I have on my channel. But it wasn't all easy, which I'll get into a bit later. But I think I want to look around this town, maybe eat some food, and take a little break.
Good morning, everyone. It's 5:45. We're getting up nice and early to get on the trail as the sun rises.
Thank you, Kevin.
So we're quite lucky on this trip. We have two porters who are going to be carrying the majority of my gear, and Harmens' gear allows us to just focus on acclimatization, enjoying the trip, and just making sure that we're able to get through it. It's quite a luxury, and one that I really greatly appreciate. And it's also giving jobs to both Sanjeep and Som. They have a lot of our camping equipment in there. That's why these bags look super big, but they're also just absolute tanks. These guys are very strong, and they're well adapted to the altitude around here. Part of me and both Harmen both feel a little bit guilty as well, but very grateful. We got out extra early this morning. I think we're about an hour and a half before we left yesterday. And this is a very popular route, so lots of trekkers. A lot of people have to share the trail, which I don't mind, but there's something about having it all to yourself that's pretty special. It's cold, I didn't get as much sleep, but we have all this to ourselves, and the lighting, mwah, it's perfect. So here in Nepal, there's two major religions, Hinduism and Buddhism. Hinduism accounts for about 80% of the religious population, while Buddhism is the remaining 20. Where we started yesterday morning in the town of Chame, that was kind of a mix between Hindu and Buddhism. But as we're working our way up in altitude, it's basically predominantly Buddhist. And both cultures get along very, very well. Is this a natural goat path?
Natural and this is natural Himalayan concrete, only found in the Anapurna regions of Nepal.
Manang. All right, here's a quick overview of the map. This whole area is the Annapurna Massif, the highest point being Annapurna 1, the highest mountain in the range at just over 8,000 meters. Though there's also Annapurna 2, which we had beautiful views of today, and Annapurna 3, which we were looking at this afternoon. We took the Jeep up here from Kathmandu, which is obviously way back here, but we started the trek 2 days ago at the town of Cham. Yesterday, we made the hike up to Upper Pasang where we spent the night, woke up this morning, continued up to where we are now in the town of Manang. Over the next couple days, we're gonna make our way up to Tilicho Lake, back around through Thorung Pass, the highest point in the trek at 5,400 meters, continuing till we meet back up by way of Jeep, come back around. This will be part 2, and I think we're gonna be coming to this town, Ghandruk, where we will be hiking up to Annapurna Base Camp, where we will have amazing views of Annapurna 1, one of the most, if not the most, dangerous and deadly mountains to climb in the entire world. So this is a 2-part trek. First part being the north side of the Annapurna Massif, the second part being up to Annapurna Base Camp from the south. It's been an amazing couple of days so far. Absolutely so stoked to be here in the town of Manang. I'm a little sunburnt, so excited to spend 2 days here. Tomorrow we're doing a quick acclimatization hike, and then just resting. Lots to come. It's only gonna get more beautiful as we gain altitude. So stoked to be here. It's a remarkable place. So currently at 3,500 meters in elevation, and we're getting up there, though this is not quite the highest that I've ever been. The highest that I've ever been was just over 4,000 meters. That was when I climbed Mount Kinabalu, which is the tallest mountain in Southeast Asia. It's on the island of Borneo, and I climbed it in my early 20s when I was an exchange student during university in Singapore. During this time, I had already developed my passion for videography. That was done during high school. And so when I climbed this mountain, I was filming my experience. And while my experience of climbing the mountain was unforgettable, my videography filming experience was unforgettable for other reasons. YouTube around this time was a thing. People were posting videos, making it their jobs, and the thought of becoming a YouTuber was a very appealing one for me. Though when I was filming this video, I was stumbling. I remember clearly at the bottom of the mountain when I was trying to summarize my experience, I was tripping over my thoughts, stumbling over my words, and I was just so riddled with insecurity. I had this voice in the back of my head telling me that I couldn't do it, that I wasn't good enough, that this wasn't for me, and I could never make it work. I never finished the video. I never edited it. I don't even think I finished filming it. It never became a thing. And that pretty much summarizes my life around this time. My university experience, I was a very insecure person. I went to a school to pursue my passion for videography, though the school in which I went to and the program that I was in was not exactly what I expected, though I just stuck it out because I was also very aimless. I was aimless, passionless, and insecure. And so I pretty much floated through that part of my life, through my 20s. But that all began to change in my late 20s. I got a little bit more confidence, tried a few things here and there. It really didn't all come together until my older brother Max invited me out on a camping trip. And yeah, things started to shift in such a good way. But we'll get to that part of the story in a little bit. We'll leave it there for now. We're up with the sun this morning because the views, the lighting is absolutely spectacular first thing. We have the whole trail to ourselves, so can't beat getting out bright and early.
There she's.
Hi.
Hey, is that a mountain goat?
No, this is mules.
It's a what?
Mules.
Mountain?
Not mountain,
Is that a
mules.
yak?
So not a mountain goat.
No.
This is so confusing. So the white ones you're saying are goats and the brown ones are...
Oh, wait. This one is a mountain goat.
Mules, not mountain goat. Mountain goat will be seen maybe in the today or maybe in the... If you do not see today, maybe when we are in the Yakarka. After Yakarka,
Yeah.
we'll see that day, definitely. Yakarka maybe on the way, high camp.
But yakaka is yaks, right?
Yeah,
No
that's-
mountain goats.
Sometimes coming there's mountain goat.
So we left the town of Manang this morning and we're working our way up to 4,000 some odd meters. We actually ended up spending 2 nights in Manang because we wanted to climatize. It's good for the body to get used to the new altitude before you go higher, because otherwise it makes the trip really difficult. So we spent 2 nights in Manang just hanging out. Harmen and I did a nice day hike yesterday. First thing in the morning we climbed a local hill and just enjoyed the view. Rest of the day was just spent hanging out and resting. But it's great to be back on the trail, heading up to Tilicho Lake, base camp there, 4,000 some odd meters.
This mountain here, that's Mansalu. That's another 8,000 meter peak. Behind here,
Annapurna 1, that's the only 8,000er in this massif. And that's also one of the top 15 highest mountains in the world. Nice little tea house here. Surprisingly, we still have Wi-Fi, we still have electricity. I just had a hot shower. It was warm for about 12 seconds. And then it got really cold, and that's why I'm in my jacket, because I kind of felt a little hypothermic briefly. But it's okay. We're good. All's good. Yeah, good to be here. It's been a nice day. Big day tomorrow. Short day, but lots of elevation. Oh my goodness, look at that. Tibetan bread, jam, and honey. Oh, it's so good. So this is our first morning sleeping in. I think both Harmon and I are feeling a bit of the altitude, though we slept great, but it does feel like it's a little bit less oxygen in the air. Today we're going about 700 meters up in altitude to Lake Tilicho, where we're gonna be camping out, but we're just enjoying some morning joe. And then we're gonna putter around for a bit. So good. So a lot of our stuff has been carried by our porters in these here blue bags, but we're swapping that out. And I'm gonna start carrying my own gear because we gotta climb something like 700 meters in elevation today. The porter's staying here along with our guide. Harmon and I are gonna hike up to Tilicho Lake. We're gonna make our nice overnight camp there. So getting ready for all that. Okay, 700 meters in elevation total for the day. So far I've done 260, which is actually, I'm really happy about that. About every 50 meters, I'm taking a little short break, catching my breath. Getting close to about half the oxygen you experience at sea level at this altitude. And I live pretty close to sea level, living in Toronto, Ontario, in Canada. So this is as high as I've ever been. So definitely a new experience. You probably could have taken a 30-minute nap in the time it got me to catch up to you.
25.
25 minutes? Wow, you're killing it.
Oh man, I'm feeling good.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, halfway point.
I found my pace and it was just real slow.
Okay.
But I feel good. Like at first I had to stop every 50 meters.
Yeah.
But then no, I just real slowed it down. Just like only like, just
Oh yeah.
feel good. Yeah. I don't know what it is, but like I look over and I see all these peaks, including, you know, Mansalou, 8,000, and I find myself getting emotional right now. I don't know what it is. I've always wanted to come to the Himalayas, and I'm just here right now. It's so unreal. What an amazing place. It's just so nice to be here. I don't know if I'm crying or laughing. Oh. I'm just so grateful. Been a wonderful trip so far though. Coming up here to Tilicho Lake is by far my favorite part. Hard to beat. We got some 7,000 meter peaks behind us. Some of the largest in the world. It's so surreal. In fact, any of these 7,000 meter peaks are taller than any other mountain outside the Himalayas. So good.
Oh my God, so good.
That turned out to be a really fun day. It's awesome being up here at 5,000 meters. I have probably said that 20 times already, but it feels good. I'm absolutely exhausted. I was gonna do a little bit of a story time tonight, but I think that should wait till tomorrow because I don't have a lot in me. I'm tired, so I'm gonna crawl into my sleeping bag and I'll see you guys in the morning. Good night.
Good morning, everyone. I had an okay sleep. Kept waking up. But I feel good overall. We're at 5,000 meters at the highest lake in the world, Tilicho Lake. Or at least that's what one of the signs says.
So we're surrounded by snow, not quite in it. It's funny because I'm quite used to camping out in these conditions, maybe not at altitude, but you know, in the snow and in the cold. And that wasn't always the case. In fact, I was quite against it. The first time my brother Max brought me out winter camping, it was back in 2020, and I thought that was a ridiculous idea. I thought camping in the winter was silly, and I was a little hesitant. But I decided to go. I filmed the whole thing, and we spent, I believe, 3 or 4 days in his homemade hot tent, and we had an awesome time. It snowstormed, half my camera equipment didn't work. I ended up filming most of it on my cell phone, and I posted that video that I made, and it did well. It was the first video, I think, that actually did really well on YouTube. I got a couple 100,000 views over a few months, and at that time, I realized like that was it. That was what I had to do. I was always into camping, but I kind of lost that through the years. And here's this amazing resource, the amazing Ontario outdoors. And so I decided that's what I was gonna pursue. So that winter, I made a few more winter camping videos. None of them had done very well. That summer, filmed a few canoe trips. Mostly, actually, I believe all of them were ones that my brother had dragged me out on. So he's basically holding my hand, pulling me out on these adventures, and I'm just filming that whole experience. And that's when I picked up my first canoe, Patches, which has since become an icon. But none of those videos did particularly well. But I knew that as that next winter approached, the winter of 2021, that I had to get back out and start filming winter camping content again. And that's exactly what I did. I think it was New Year's Eve. I went out, filmed my first solo winter camping trip, posted that, gained a couple thousand views, got a couple more subscribers. And a week later, did the same thing. And then the ball just started moving. Got a bunch of comments, people started following, people were liking the videos. And I believe it was the 4th video that year that I posted at the end of January 2021. And that video went viral. That's the most popular video on my channel still to this day. Has 24 million views at this point. And when I turned on AdSense at that time, I started making money. It was like 30 bucks a day, 50 bucks a day, 70 bucks a day, and then I could go full time. I was able to go full time as a YouTuber since January of 2021. It's quite funny because all those years in between my first video, which was the Mississinapi River canoe camping trip, and the 2020s, I was kind of lost, and it all came back to making camping videos. I think that's good for now. I think we'll continue story time a little bit later. There's a lot more to tell. But for now, just gonna enjoy the view. We are heading back to the main track. We're gonna be heading to Yakarka, and that should be a good stepping point for us to head up through Thorung Pass, which is gonna be the pinnacle of this part of the trek, which is gonna be the highest point of the whole Annapurna circuit at 5,400 meters. It'll be higher than I've ever been. I was definitely struggling at 5,000 meters. So we'll see how I do at 5,400. Hopefully I will be a little bit more adapted to the altitude at that point, and we'll see. But on the way, we get some more of this. I'm so grateful for the porters. They're so strong and they're well adapted for the altitude. And for us to get adapted to the altitude, because for me, this ain't that easy. I mean, this stretch isn't so bad, but you know, some of the other stretches have been quite difficult. And for me also, this trip is off the coattails of a 7-day island survival video where I was a little beat up after that one. So it's kind of nice to have a little bit of a lighter load as we hike the Himalayas, especially after that last trip. Down there is the town of Manang. We were there 4 nights ago. That's where we spent 2 nights acclimatizing before we headed up this valley. Now we're jumping over this here ridge to Yakarka. So Harmon and I both had the same sentiment. We were feeling a little stir crazy staying in all these towns, and we really enjoyed the experience of being in the tent the other night. So we hiked out from town 15 something minutes just over yonder and decided to pitch our tents amongst the mountains. Oh, it's so beautiful out here. It's like I go through these stages on this trip of just like, you know, hanging out, being a little bit apathetic, and then just pure excitement and bliss. And right now it's just, I'm so excited to be out here.
All right, well, I'm all snuggled up in my nice warm sleeping bag and my nice tent. I'm really grateful for the gear that I have. Honestly, it's made things definitely a little easier, but it's not always about the gear. In fact, I think that it's more about just getting out there. I think that's a big part of how I kind of grew as a channel in the first place. I thought the first year of YouTube that I did, I was lacking so many pieces of equipment that could have benefited me. I didn't have proper sleeping bag for some of the cold conditions I was putting myself into. I didn't have a tent. I used a tarp for the first 20 nights I slept out until spring and summer, where I had to borrow my younger brother's tent just so I could get away from the bugs. But yeah, I just basically just got out and made it happen. And I think that's the most important thing. Gear's nice and all, and I love gear. I love having nice, lightweight, fancy gear, but it's not always about that. And I'm very grateful to have accumulated this stuff, but now it's more about getting out. And I think that's a aspect of myself that I really admire. If you can admire things about yourself, that's something that I like. Is that I just made it happen. I didn't know much about filming in the winter or making content or what other people were doing, or even much that, like, I didn't even know too much about camping. I barely knew how to J-stroke the first time I was solo paddled. But the thing is, I made it happen. It wasn't always a coming up story, you know. There was some pretty serious downs in there. 2021 was one of the best years of my life because I'm in a career that I had dreamed of forever, and I was doing it full time all of a sudden. But there's other reasons why 2021 was such a magical year and such a special year for me, which has to do with some of the years leading up to that. But we'll save that for another day.
Good morning, everyone. We are gonna head back to town, eat some food, and get on a trekking.
All right, this morning we're heading from Yakarka up to Thorung High Camp, 4,200 meters up to 48. And then tomorrow we're gonna head through Thorung Pass, which will be the highest point in our trek at 5,400 meters, which will take us above the height of Everest Base Camp. I think today's a short day, but it's definitely a cold morning. We're walking further and further away from the Annapurna Massif, and it just isn't getting any smaller. It just shows the scale of those things. Those are massive 7,000 meter peaks. I think some of them are approaching 8,000 meters. And it's just unfathomable. Unfathomable. I'm intentionally breathing in as much as I can. It's giving me so much power. We're at 4,700 meters. Almost as high as when we were climbing to Tilicho Lake. But I find this way easier. I probably have about 10 kilograms less, maybe just 8. But my breathing's so much better than it was before. And then there's Harmens.
Yeah.
Absolute legend. He's a billy goat out here. I'm so grateful for our porters. They are just absolutely crushing it and making it so much easier for us to do this. Nice work.
Hi. Very good work.
Yes.
Our clients are very strong, Alex. Mr. Alex, very strong.
Yeah.
These guys.
Thank you.
Very good view. Enjoy here. You see a lot of mountain.
You used to do the gangster look.
Hi, Yuka. Hi, Yuka. Hi.
All right, sleeping in a tent last night was nice, but this is also pretty nice. Today was supposed to be one of our hardest days, and honestly, I feel like I just crushed it. It felt so good. Felt so good today. That was the most dramatic inclination that we had on the entire trip, up to 4,800 meters. I wasn't carrying as much as the one we did 5,000 meters, but I feel acclimatized. I feel good. I feel strong, but I need a nap. We were fairly close to those mountains a couple days ago, and we just keep hiking away, and yet they don't seem any further. They're just massive. Everything here in the Himalayas is supersized. Let me show you where we are on the map, where we are at this little camp thing at 4,800 meters. Tomorrow, going up over Thorung Pass, which will be 5,400 meters, which is maybe 100 or 200 meters higher than Mount Everest Base Camp. We're gonna make our way through Thorung Pass, which should be absolutely beautiful, to Maktanath. From there, I think we're spending the night and taking a jeep all the way around to Ghandruk, where we're going to be starting leg 2 of the journey up to Annapurna Base Camp. Definitely feeling the altitude here at 4,800 meters. I do have prescription for Diamox, which is it aids with altitude sickness. What it basically does is it allows you to breathe deeper, and I guess as a result you get more oxygen into your bloodstream, and it combats altitude sickness. I haven't taken it yet. I hope not to take it, though I will take it if I need it. I really hope to adapt my body to altitude because it's cool, and I'd like to continue to push my limits into the future. Pretty surreal being here. Got an amazing view of Annapurna 4, and I think that's 3, both well over 7,000 some odd meters in elevation. Wow, this is it. Another amazing end to an awesome day. The Himalayas just keeps on giving. What an incredible place. Well, we're gonna head back to camp, eat some dinner, head off to bed. We got an early morning tomorrow, so we'll probably just leave it there for today. See you guys in the morning. All right, we are starting bright and early today. I believe it's 5 a.m., 4:30, 5 a.m. And we have 600 meters of ascent and 1,800 meters of descent. We're going up through Thorung Pass. This is gonna be the highest point of the entire trek at 5,400 meters. Slightly higher than Everest Base Camp. Seems like a demanding day, but should be absolutely beautiful once the sun comes up. So the reason we got out so early this morning is because Thorung Pass is notorious for high winds, and we want to beat those because you don't want to mess with Mother Nature. In fact, 10 years ago, back in 2014,
a freak snowstorm came through this area in mid-October. Something like 400 trekkers had to be extracted, and it killed something like 43 people total, which is absolutely insane and super horrifying. When it comes to Mother Nature, you don't want to mess with it. We're at the top of Trarlong Pass. This is the highest point on the Annapurna circuit trek. We're a couple hundred meters above Everest Base Camp, about half the oxygen that you'd experience at sea level. I definitely feel it, though. I feel a lot more climatized than I did when we did Tilicho Lake. I feel so much stronger, so much more energy. It was an amazing morning. It's fun to be up here. There's some beautiful mountains around here, and they're just so tempting. They just kind of call to you in a way, you know? 1,800 meters of descent, and then stage 2 of this trek. 4 years ago, if you had told me that I'd be here hiking the Himalayas as a full-time content creator, I think you're crazy. My life 4 years ago was so dramatically different that it's incomprehensible. I was at a low in my life. To be honest, that's a bit of an understatement. I was at rock bottom. And if I didn't make some lifestyle changes, some very dramatic lifestyle changes 4 years ago, basically to the day, not only would I not be here filming content in the Himalayas and living out my dream, I very well might not even be alive. I'll get to that part of the story in a bit, but first it's probably best we descend in altitude. All right, we've descended 1,800 meters today. We're almost at the town of Muktanath, where we're gonna be staying tonight, and we're greeted by another 8,000 meter peak. This is Dari Giri, I believe is how you say it. I'm probably messing that up, but that's the second 8,000 meter peak we've been lucky to see. The first one being Mansalu. We got to see one more when we make it to Annapurna Base Camp, and that'll be Annapurna 1, which I cannot wait to see. What a beautiful and ornate place. So we're in Muktanak now, and I figured this trip might be divided into 2 parts, but no, the adventure continues. It feels like we're in a different country. It's really interesting. Hey, what's my name again? What's my name?
Lambu Sherpa.
Lambu Sherpa.
Lambu Sherpa are very famous in the Annapurna circuit. He is all very strong man.
So they gave me a Sherpa name. My name is Lambu Sherpa. And Aziz was saying, I finally got you a name. It's Ugly Sherpa. Lambu Sherpa. I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. I'll be Ugly Sherpa from now on. And he's slowly just like, oh yeah, because you're so, like this, and everybody else is like here and you're like this. And we're like, ugly? Oh, you mean tall? Like, oh yeah, I'm like, and then Harmens like, ugly means unattractive. So, oh no, you're tall Sherpa. So I'm Lambu Sherpa, meaning tall Sherpa, not ugly. But Ugly Sherpa is kind of funny. So either one works for me.
How is this yak burger? Is it a good one?
Maybe the best one so far. Not bad.
So yesterday I started developing this cough, and then that really quickly progressed into like a sore throat and like breathing, a little bit of breathing problems. So yeah, I didn't get much sleep last night. Feeling really off, feeling really sick, and I'm just hoping that it hasn't the infection hasn't spread too much. But I've started some antibiotics. I brought some with me for respiratory issues, including pneumonia. Hopefully it's not that. I did wake up a few times in the middle of the night, like trying to breathe. It was kind of scary. But fingers crossed it gets better. We have a pretty easy day today. It's just taking a Jeep from one town to the next, about 6 hours. So today's a bit of a rest day, which is good. Hopefully it clears up. And on a plus note, I sound really sexy. Like a sexy, sexy man. We're gonna get some actual coffee today. Hopefully. We've been drinking this milk coffee stuff for the last 10 days, and it's not the same. It's the real coffee, so. We've just arrived in Gurapani for the second leg of our trip. All right, home sweet home. Hello. Good morning, everyone. I feel alive today. I got so much rest. I feel great. Well, it's the next day. I don't think I could have gotten sick at a better time. We came out of the high pass and started developing that cough. And then 2 nights ago, I had one of the worst sleeps of the trip. Just like, it was hard to breathe. And then I woke up in the morning with such a sore throat. I was quite worried that I wouldn't be able to continue the trip, but fortunately we had a full day just being in the car, stopped at a hot springs. And then when we got to this town, I just slept for like 5-6 hours during the day, ate some food, went back to sleep, got like another 8 hours of sleep last night. And honestly today, I feel great. Still have a pretty sore throat, but I feel like I've been recharged quite a bit. What's cool about being on this side is that the fauna and flora is way different. Look at the size of these spruce needles. They're gigantic. I've never seen any kind of coniferous tree this lush. This is just gigantic. These boughs would be amazing bedding. We're at 3,200 meters right now. And on the other side of Annapurna, on the north side, you didn't have trees like this. It was not as green, as tropical as we were experiencing here. And Harmen was also saying that in the Alps, at 3,200 meters, you would not have trees like this. This is the south slope of these mountains. It's definitely getting more sunlight, probably getting a lot more moisture as well. We're experiencing it as we walk. There's a lot more clouds and we're feeling the moisture in the air as well. So totally different environment to this part 2, the adventure.
Rain and wind always come from the Indian Ocean, from the south. So this side gets probably a lot more precipitation than the northern slopes.
We're on the south side of the mountains and it feels like a totally different country, totally different trip. It's lush, it's wet, it's absolutely beautiful. And honestly, this has been some of the best trekking of the trip for me so far. All right, we'll just dive into this real quick. First half of the trip started here in Chame, north of Annapurna. We dipped here to Tilicho Lake, back around through the pass to Muktanath, and then we jumped in a Jeep over here to Gorapani. I think here we're in Kimrung. To finish it off, we gotta dip up here to ABC, Annapurna Base Camp. So obviously a lot went into planning this trip, and the convenient thing is none of it was done by Harmen and myself. We outsourced all of the planning to a guiding and trekking company called Himalayan Glacier, and they made this trip so easy for us. We basically told them we wanted to do something around Annapurna. We worked closely with our travel organizer, Sandkit, and he basically worked this whole thing out for us. I told him I wanted to go to Annapurna Base Camp. Harmen wanted to see the north side of the Annapurna circuit, so we did this whole thing this way, and so far it's worked out absolutely excellently. So happy with working with our guide Ashish, and of course our two porters Sanjib and Sam. It's just been such an amazing experience just because of all the help that we received. We basically show up in town. Ashish has already organized our rooms. They have food basically ready for us, and it's just allowed Harmen and myself to focus on filming, acclimatizing, and just enjoying our hike in general. So super stoked working with Himalayan Glacier. If you guys are interested in doing a Himalayan trek at any point in your life, which if you've watched this video up to this point, I'm sure some of you are really considering it, check out Himalayan Glacier. They've been amazing to work with. Today was a great day. I'm feeling so much better, and kind of excited to tell you guys a little bit more about my story. But it's gonna wait for another day, because honestly, I think I should just eat some food, go to sleep. I'm pretty pooched, and we'll get to that another day.
Good morning, everyone. It's bright and early. The sun is up. We're back on the trail in the beautiful Himalayas. It's good to be alive today. Even though I got really poor sleep, I'm still pretty sick. It's just nice to be out here. Like really nice. I know some of you guys are gonna come here after watching this video, and you should. It's a beautiful place. Good morning, Harmon.
Good morning.
Somebody just walked by and handed me a box with a puppy in it. Oh, he's so cute. I'm sorry, I gotta go though. I can't take him. Oh, that dog was so cute. The owner came back and picked him up, and I'm sure he's gonna find a nice home, but gosh, I really like that doggy.
This village is called Chamorong. Sandra doesn't know that, but I do.
We're staying there tonight, which is a big down and a big up. And then after we go up to ABC in 2 days, we come back down, and this is where we're gonna be extracted down here. And that'll be our way out to Pokhara, where we're gonna spend a few nights and then fly back to Kathmandu. And then I fly back to North America. They have mustard. That's the first time I've seen mustard.
No, it's green sauce.
Oh, it's the green sauce. Always the green sauce.
Green chili. It's so good though.
That bridge back there was the lowest point on the entire trek at 1,800 meters. What a stark contrast. The south side of Annapurna Mastifas compared to the north side. It's wet, it's hot, it's humid. It's challenging because I'm just sweating like crazy. I mean, I love the jungled area, but I do miss the colder climate of the north side. Well, it's just started raining and we made it to town. Woo! Home sweet home. Oh. So a couple days ago I mentioned the fact that shortly after finishing Thorung Pass that if you had told me 4 years ago that I'd be in this position, I'd think you're crazy. That's because my life then, almost 4 years ago to the day, was vastly different. And if I didn't make some very serious life changes, I might not be here as a person. Not just in the career sense, but I might not even be alive. Pretty much as long as I can remember, I had a predisposition to substance abuse. Basically, when I was a young kid, I used to steal liquor from my grandparents' alcohol closet at the cottage, and then steal wine from my mom, smoked weed, 12, and all through high school. It was all about partying, getting drunk, getting high, and just chasing that next dopamine hit. It got worse and worse and worse until the point where my late 20s, I was chronic alcoholic, waking up every morning, drinking, abusing prescription medications, and just whatever I could get my hands on. I was 30 years old when I finally had enough, and I decided that it was time for me to throw myself into rehab. I was not pursuing my dreams, I was not pursuing my passions, I was not doing anything with my life, and all this juggling of substances that I was trying to balance myself out with was not going anywhere. I threw myself into rehab for my 31st birthday. I was there for 3 weeks, got out, basically Had 2 weeks of sobriety back in real life. It was very hard to stay sober. This was over winter break of 2020. And I decided that it was time for me to actually pursue my passion. I was gonna try to make some YouTube videos while I was sober. And it was the 4th video that year. Basically, at this point, a month out of rehab, just maybe a little bit longer, that I turned on AdSense and I started getting paid, and I was able to go full time. And here I am, almost 4 years sober. I'm celebrating 4 years of sobriety in a week or so. And I'm at 1 million subscribers in the Himalayas. I think about my life every single day and how lucky I am to be doing this. And not just pursuing my dream of being a full-time content creator, but also being sober, being substance free, and just being happy. It's been an amazing 4 years, and it's just so hard for me to think about how my life was before, because it's just so vastly different. And now I'm living out my wildest dreams, and I'm just so grateful. And I think about this all the time. Good morning, everyone. It's another beautiful day to be on the trail. In fact, it rained all last night, and with that rain, cleared up the skies. Looks like we have an absolutely beautiful day. We're coming from about 21 meters in elevation to about 35 today. So we got about 1,400 meters in elevation. Shouldn't be too hard considering we're lower in altitude than we were a couple days ago, and we're also much more acclimatized. But yeah, beautiful day to be on the trail. We're making great progress today. We're almost halfway done to Dalli, where we're gonna be staying for the night. Tomorrow is the final push to ABC, AKA Annapurna Base Camp, which will be one of the highlights of the entire trip. So stoked for that. Beautiful trail so far, great day. Looking forward to lunch. This place is lush, let me tell ya. It's wet, warm, and gorgeous. All right, made it to Dalli. We're about 1,000 meters in elevation and a 6-hour hike from Annapurna Base Camp. It was a tough day, but absolutely beautiful. Pooched, so I think we're just gonna leave this one here for the day. See you guys in the morning for the last push. Good night. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, it's the next day. We're back on the trail, making our final push to Annapurna Base Camp. It's a nice, beautiful day. We got clear skies. It's been an amazing journey so far. Both this Himalayan experience and of course, the journey to 1 million subscribers. So grateful. Yeah, thank you everybody that's been here for the journey. Love you guys from the bottom of my heart, and that's the truth. Without you guys, this wouldn't be a reality. Thanks for coming along. It's been an amazing 4 years. But yeah, I got some big plans for the future, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But I just want to say thank you, and let's keep it going.
Machu Picchu Base Camp. Uh-oh. I think we're in the wrong place. Annapurna Base Camp, 4,100 meters, roughly half that of this massive mountain here. All right, we did it. Behind me, Annapurna 1, 8,090 meters, the tallest of the Annapurna Massif and the deadliest mountain in the world, and such an icon of climbing, one of the 14 8,000 peaks in the world. Home sweet home for the night. Jeez.
Congratulations, Lambu Sherpa.
Good work.
Sherpa.
Good stuff, yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, what a place to be surrounded by 7,000, 8,000 meter peaks. There's no peak in the world that's higher than 7,000 meters outside the Himalayas, and here we have 7,000ers and 8,000ers. This place is majestic. Majestic! Believe it or not, even though Annapurna is the most dangerous mountain in the world, it's also the first 8,000 meter peak to be climbed. Although they managed to summit, they ended up losing most of their fingers and toes on the descent, which is badass. This wall of ice, snow, and rock is double the height at which we are from sea level. This is 4 kilometers from where I am to the peak, vertically. Absolutely crazy. This place is truly remarkable, and I feel absolutely blessed to be here. Harmon and I found an amazing flat area about 300 meters north of base camp. So we decided to get our tents and we came back out, and we're gonna camp out tonight underneath this beauty. All right, got my tent all set up. Harm's just over there. This is easily one of the coolest campsites I've ever camped at. All right, we're gonna head back to base camp, eat some dinner, and come back out here for a little overnight nap. What a place to be.
Don't forget the green sauce.
This one's so good.
Wow.
So good.
How good are you doing?
All right, good day, puppy.
Good night.
See you in the morning.
See you in the morning.
Bye, bye, bye.
Bye-bye.
My goodness, do I ever feel blessed today?
We are in the midst of a god, Annapurna Mountain. Oh my god, so I totally forgot I bought this thing in Kathmandu. It's, Kathmandu is the capital. It's like a little boingy machine.
All I can make is a boing 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 noise. That's about the extent of my music talent. Well, it kind of feels like we reached the pinnacle of the trip. Honestly, being amongst these mountains just excites me. The challenge of the altitude, the majesty and massiveness of these mountains just is so special. Not only am I excited to be here, but I'm just excited to explore more of this world. The fact that these Himalayas exist and there's a 8,000 meter, 8 kilometer high mountain just over there is just so inspiring. Life's good, and there's a lot to see and do. And I got some pretty cool plans for the future that I'm excited to share with you guys. But for now, bedtime, because it's what you do at night. You close your eyes and you go to sleep. So I'm gonna go do that. Good night, guys. I love you. Good morning, everyone. It is absolutely stunning outside. What a perfect place to be for a sunrise. Well, that's it. Packing up to head down the mountain now. We have had an amazing time here on the Annapurna circuit. It was so nice hanging out with Harmen. Great guy. Hopefully I got to show you a little bit of what he's like. He's an amazing dude. Go check out his videos. Also, huge thanks to Himalayan Glacier, Ashish, Sam, Sanjib. Thank you guys so much for your help. Harmen and I getting our last reps in before the end of the trip.
Carry your own stuff for one.
Made our way down from base camp here to Chamrang. How do you put words to this place? I struggle. These mountains, they loom over you thousands and thousands of meters above your head. It's a scale at which it's seen nowhere else on Earth. So high that when you climb these mountains, it literally takes your breath away. But I feel really strong, and I feel like I want to challenge myself some more. You know, some of the altitude we were at is only half at which the highest mountains in the world are. And I don't want to say I'm going to climb those yet, but boy can dream, you know. I do have plans to go higher and further, and I'm very excited for some of those adventures. But for now, I will miss this place. I could have spent a couple more months here, to be honest. That's it for this one. So I'll see you guys in the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed that one as much as I did. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.